Hello, people. Hello, people. Who the hell calls this function? This is very slow. Holy fuck. Okay. Yeah, this is not great. This code is not great. But it's fine. Okay. We need to get rid of this get drawables for layer function because it doesn't make sense anymore. That's top item on our to-do list. Instead, I want to cast the frame. I want to pass the frame down. So we're going to pass this into there. And then that will go there. Okay. So here, before we try to do all the dudes, let's just refactor this. So we're going to go include set in ABB, expand ABB to include set. I mean, why the fuck? We have a bounding box type here, right? Why didn't you use that? Holy fuck. Expand to include. we'll use that terminology. Expand. Well, there we go. Bounding box. Let's just make sure. We have a init bounding box with a mesh. All right, we're gonna go. Just gonna do this. Just gonna do that. We're gonna keep this for now. We're gonna go expand to include set. The box. All this is gonna be in expand to include set. What the shit is this? Down at the bottom. All right, first, okay. For all the general entities, we're just okay. This sucks. We're just going to do this for now. This is for shadows because we have a different bounding box for visible stuff. Okay. Yeah, do I love it? Not totally, but okay. So, get entity bounding box. Okay. Gonna do this down here. Okay. That's not gonna be set. I don't think. Who sets that? Only one thing. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is fine. Expand include set for shadows. Okay, what? Let's make sure. So for all the offsets, What the fuck? This is just not good. This is not good. Well, it depends on how this is used. All right. Who here want to team up to make a game? Well, first of all, you haven't specified your role on this team of Super Friends who are going to make the game. So that's sus. Are you the idea man? You're learning. All right. Well, you know, it's better than not learning. There are lots of people who are not learning. I don't really know what to do with this. This whole situation here. I guess I'm going to leave it. Okay. So maybe this compiles, probably not. It was very close. One more thing, blockchain. Blockchain. Did you guys see the awesome plane crash that almost happened? So we have basically no shadows here. Which sucks. I'm actually not sure if we ever did. Oh, we did. So, what did I break? I shouldn't have changed anything. Working here. It's not going to be working here. Yeah, whoever was driving that plane on the ground is fucking fired for almost killing like 500 people. I'm just really worried about how many of these things seem to be happening lately. It's not good. It is not good. What system I work on spec-wise? I work on a home computer. There's a song about it. It was a junior officer who had just graduated, or senior pilot was doing comms. No, you are thinking about the Black Hawk crash. This is a totally different, massively devastating crash that almost but didn't happen. For weeks you completely missed that I was streaming. Well, it's computers. See? They program their home computer. We don't need to keep going with it. You get the idea. The deranged Twitch Amazon guy I was arguing with on X. I don't know who the Twitch Amazon guy was. I lose track. I also don't know why I'm arguing so much lately, but like, there's just a certain amount of dumbness that's really bothering me. You know? Okay, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I really made minor changes here. Okay, what? Why is there a view? What? This has nothing to do with the bug, but why is there a view kind? Why? If we're in the editor, if we're baking in the editor, I see. All right, I guess that's legit. The sum type guy. There were like 2 different sum type guys. Okay. So it's basically bedtime, but I want to get something done. I want to get something done. And this is not counting as something done. So okay. I moved this over from Entity Manager, so I could just revert that file for a second and recopy it. This is going to take forever because this computer is degrading and slow. Slow. All right. What are all these changes? Oh, I passed that parameter. That's surely not going to break anything. Pass that parameter. And then down here. So I basically moved this stuff to a different file and then did the change. So we can comment out those functions and just that's my notes, and just redo the thing. All right, so Entity Manager. Yeah. All right, so we're going to revert Entity Manager for a second. And we're just going to redo the same thing. It's an easy way. Whoops. It's an easy way to get the code again. We're going to go here. We're just going to move all this over here. And going to comment this out. All of it. We're just going to paste all that. Oh. Just pass that frame. All right. I wonder, this actually might have to do, it might have to do with an earlier change. You know what? If we update, my guess is this is still not going to cast shadows. Indeed, it doesn't. I think if I go way down, oh, there's some shadow action. Of some kind. Yeah, it's really unhappy right now. Okay, so this is actually not necessarily a surprise. Because we did change. Okay, so my guess is actually if I update, we're not going to have shadows here. Because of a change. Yeah, see, it wasn't newest. It wasn't newest. So this is due to a change I made earlier tonight. Yep. And the reason is, the whole reason I am doing all this, see, the reason I'm doing this refactor, I want to go back to the old code and hope I didn't make a dumb mistake actually. The reason I'm doing this refactor is because, remember, I'm trying to get rid of this function, and the reason I'm trying to get rid of it, it doesn't make sense anymore. There's not just one drawable set, there's a whole bunch, and it's picking like an arbitrary one, I think. So what we do is actually this, frame.drawable sets. So we're going to go for set frame.drawable sets, expand in there. Now, is this going to work? Maybe not. I don't know. The remote work guy. Dude, that's so many arguments ago. I barely remember that. Oh yeah, the guy, yeah. I kind of remember remote work guy. Kind of. Hey, look, we got the shadows back, everybody. Great. Great. All right. Get drawables for layer. There's two other calls. All right. Okay, one of them was in this copy that I just deleted. Get drawables for layer. That is commented out. So, goodbye. Goodbye. All right, that's great. We're going to take the W on that. Remove a function that was just a crutch to get us to where we are now regarding visibility stuff. Basically what I'm doing is a bunch of stuff related to making the rendering go faster by just cutting down on the number of entities that we try to draw. And this is a typical thing that basically any 3D game is going to try and do one way or another, except for the airplane game that AI guy made and said, this makes game development into a joke. So we're just doing this, and you know, this is something I was trying to get programmers to do for years and years, and they would never do, to my great disappointment. So I'm doing it. That's the story of my life. It's pretty straightforward. It's not rocket sciencey, but there's a bunch of steps. I've done a bunch of steps so far. But, you know, there's probably some more. These aren't going to be the exact steps. We may modify this. But, you know, like, I don't actually know if we need this yet. This is more like a special thing we might do. But the reason why I just had to do this thing to iterate over multiple drawable sets is because we now have one drawable set per room. What is a drawable set? It's just some arrays of entities that breaks them into a couple of different types. There's a fast path for inanimates, which is why you see inanimates here, because it's important to keep that path fast. And it's going to be very fast eventually, but now it's merely faster than it was. And then, you know, for general gameplay entities, there's a moderately slower path. Yeah, that was the hilarious thing, is he's like, it sends positions every 100 milliseconds. And I'm like, bro, are you kidding me? Dude, even in the 90s, we didn't think 100 milliseconds was often enough to tick things. Is there occlusion or frustum calling being done on the GPU? Not currently, and we have talked about that. But I don't actually think we're going to go that way because, well, or if we do, it'll be like a minor thing that we do at the end. Because the thing is, you know, in a typical view in this game, in a big level like the overworld, which is what matters, right? The complex levels are where the performance matters. You're not seeing most of the rooms most of the time. And so since things are organized into rooms now, like room-sized data structures, it's just easy to call one room at a time, right? And then you could do individual entity calling after that, but like there's not that many entities left after that process that are actually going to be outside the view frustum, right? So, yeah. If there's not that many, then the GPU can't help that much, right? So is it worth all the code complexity to give that data to the GPU? Right now I'm thinking no, but we've had several discussions going back and forth on this, so we'll see. Are there any demos of the game anywhere? Well, there are demos of many games on Steam Next Fest right now. Some of the games even start a window that lets you input and play the game. And that's extra exciting when that happens. Makes sense for this type of game. Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense for most type of games. Like, I understand that you can definitely brute force GPU culling, right? But the thing about that is, I don't know. I guess it depends on the system, but like, if your CPU is doing any work to tell the GPU about those entities, then it's probably not gonna come out well, right? They're amazed how easy it is to build houses, airplanes, etc. Yeah. Yeah, Lego blocks is an interesting way to think about it. Um, yeah, it's pretty weird, right? It's just, it's people with low standards, right? And that's fine. Well, it's a combination of things. It's people who have low standards, but then also they like they think that it's okay to have low standards because the AI will scale to arbitrarily high standards, right? Which is demonstrably not true currently, and who knows eventually, but yeah. If everything is instance and you're just sending const buffers, I could see it beneficial. Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Like, I think culling has been a solved problem in video games in the sense that it's like, yeah, you got to implement some code, but it's well understood. There's different ways to do it, and all of them are fast enough. Like, there's just not really, like, nobody really has the problem that culling is too slow if they implement known good algorithms that have been figured out over the decades, right? So culling in Lodge should be vastly easier for a 2D block-based game. Yeah, kind of. Kind of. I mean, with a first-person game, you just... So here we're going to use a grid because we have rooms of known size. For a first-person game, you would just use an octree. It's fine. We understand octrees. They're fast. It's no big deal. You know, I could implement a good octree in a day, and then your culling is done, right? So, yeah, it's not that bad either way, is what I'm saying. When people complain that a car is made badly. Yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing, right? Yes. So building something in the real world, building anything in the real world, right? Physical thing, a software thing, it's really complicated, and you don't understand the complexities until you do it at least a few times, right? Which is why software projects, one of the reasons why software projects notoriously would go vastly over schedule, right? Is because when you're just vaguely thinking about how it might be to do a thing, you don't think of all the details that are going to take all the time, right? It's like the fractal shoreline, and you estimate the length of the shoreline, and it's way shorter than it actually is because you're not measuring all the little things, right? But it's worse in the case of AI because it's not just that all the little things have to be done, it's that they all have to be correct and consistent with each other, right? this is one of the reasons why software gets hard, is that it's not a collection of n things. It's a collection of n things that are all mutually self-consistent and where intelligent trade-offs have been made among the n squared interactions to not have pathologies, right? And that's all very hard, and that's the kind of thing that LLMs just don't really do right now. So when people don't understand that, I don't know. It's fine. I mean, if people don't understand that, that's fine. As long as they're not making wild claims about how LLMs are awesome at programming, right? It's just those people that I get mad at. Like there's two things in my personality, right, that are kind of related, but like, I really don't like being manipulated by people, which is why I'm in the direction politically that I am now, because the other party has been all about manipulating people. And I really don't like people who are like fake teachers, like fake knowledge spreaders, or just incompetent teachers or incompetent knowledge spreaders, because the amount of damage that those people do is really immense. And it's not the student's fault, right? If somebody goes to learn something from somebody, a student does that because the student doesn't know yet, right? They're trusting the person who's teaching or giving out the information or whatever it is in this context, right? And just to betray that trust by being just a complete ass it's just unconscionable, right? That's one reason why I don't like a lot of American universities now, is they're quite bad. The whole hype about AI programming is not that serious of a version of that. It's like a mild version of it, but it still makes me mad. In part because I've spent so many hours. Dude, how many hours have I spent programming? Like, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you. But it's a lot, right? And so I know what it's like to solve these problems in great detail. And like, it just irks me when people just claim the problems aren't there, The n squared thing already kills most developers. Yeah. I mean, on the compiler, that's exactly the limiting factor, right? Like the compiler, the rate at which things get done is just, how fast can you go on something while dealing with all the interconnected concerns. Yeah. Like, that's just like, I think that's the difference in my mind between like a junior programmer and a senior programmer. It's not how many algorithms they know. It's not how fast they can type things, right? It's a little bit how well do they think through problems and solve them. But you can still be a good problem solver and be a junior programmer because you're solving relatively small problems, right? The thing that makes a senior programmer is understanding of and respect for the way that programs become complex very quickly. Like, you wake up one day and you're like, what happened? Everything's really hard to deal with now. Like, understanding that and programming in such a way as to minimize that problem, I think, is what makes someone senior, right? AI will only get better. Sure. I will only get better too. The thing is, again, there's this magical thinking property, right? Like, there have been amazing advances in AI, but like LLMs are kind of new. Like, again, I brought this up before, but like before LLMs, it was all like the AlphaGo stuff that was impressing everybody. That has nothing to do with language models, that stuff, right? It's a different form of so-called deep learning. So, but now that LLMs have all these companies competing to make the best one, everybody just sort of magically thinks that all you have to do is scale the LLM up into the future and it'll solve all the problems. And that's just not true. LLMs are fundamentally bad at a bunch of things. Is that fixable? Maybe, but it's far from obvious. So, I mean, I think if you just assume that that's a solved problem and the only factor is time, that's just goofy. I don't think that's accurate. Now, might there be more technological breakthroughs? Absolutely. There have been. It's likely to expect more. Will those get us to general intelligence, which is what you probably need for something to program well? I don't know. General intelligence may be very, very, very far away. I don't know. Now, that said, that's what I would have told you about the ability to generate a natural language coherently. So that might be wrong as well. But we're clearly not there. Like, LLMs can't really think. It's obvious. So is that fixable? I don't know. Maybe. But if you assume that it's automatically going to happen, that's just distorted. Maybe some sort of hybrid between LLM and expert system. Well, that's what what's the acronym called? They keep making up all these acronyms for relatively minor things in AI, right? What's it called when it's some R acronym? When like you've got your LLM, but for it to give you any answer, it has to consult a database, right? A database of actual facts so that it doesn't hallucinate. I forget what that's called. RAG. Yeah, it's RAG. No, RLHF is a different thing. That's a different R acronym. Yeah, so the RAG is kind of a hybrid of an LLM and an expert system. Kind of. Okay. I mean, it's midnight over here. So I kind of want to... Let's go to the culling. Let's just look. I wrote this culling function a long time ago. And it takes... It takes entities, it does this, and okay, it does a frustum test. Now, this frustum test is a point versus sphere, which we could use initially, but we eventually want a bounding box. Oh boy. Yeah, all right. Very small file here. All right. But this is how simple some of this 3D graphics stuff can be if you really know it. All right. Now, the thing about this is we're going to actually have bounding boxes for the rooms. And the tight way to do it is not to put a sphere around the box, because a sphere around a box is going to be very loose generally. What you generally do is, this goes back to the 90s for like Quake. You do what's, I don't know what it's really called, but like this outcode based thing, and I don't know if we have that in the code anywhere, where you take the 8 vertices of your box and you make a bit field based on which plane, it's on which side of, and if all vertices are on the same side of any particular plane, then it's out, right? Do we have that? No. So I could write that again from scratch. But so again, in the spirit of doing this incrementally, we could do culling generates a set of rooms that are in the frustum initially by center radius, then by outcodes. And then, like, this is part of that. And then we can call cull inanimates on the inanimates. All right. And then we don't have all these if statements. Be a much tighter loop for the inanimates. We actually could do this right now, actually. It's going to be from render frame. So we've got cull. So we've got general entities, inanimates, and decal. Oh, you know what? Remove culling for decals and bounding box computations. Question mark. All right. Yeah, like I don't. Let's try this. It's so slow. You don't understand us software rasterizer people. Why do you think I'm a software rasterized person? Because I'm talking about a view frustum? You think that's software rasterization? The fuck? All right. The decals are missing. So I guess we need to do that. They're missing from the island, and they're also... All right, well... Using software to render equals software renderer. Well, I do use software to render, all right. I'm sorry. There, now we see the decals. I'm sorry, everybody. All right, so we're not going to sweat over this right now. We're just going to delete that to-do list item. Let's do call in animates, though. Call in animates. Visibility output, invisibility map, collision view type. The fuck is collision view type? That's frame.collision view type. Okay, I have no idea what that was for. So we need that if statement. That's not a point light or a light probe. And it's not a particle source. So we get rid of those if statements. Now, the other reason I want to do this is because we will have straight up world space bounding boxes for these eventually, which is what some of the other to-do list items are. We don't have those right now. So, yeah. This add to viz output is also going to be hard coded. All right. So we're just eliminating all these if statements for all this case. All right. Seems fine. Sometime to talk in the next few days. Yeah, tonight is not good because I'm tired and going to bed, but I think the next few days, really the next couple weeks are kind of chill. Then after that, well, the next week oh my God, week and a half. I need to book some plane tickets. And then I'm going to California again for a couple weeks. But yeah, we'll be able to talk, I think. He rewrote a branching algorithm to non-branching in C++ for digital image processing, and it made it slower. Well, you must be doing a ton of stuff in the branches. Or your branches are very predictable. If your branches are very predictable and they're always warm, you're not going to save much by skipping them. Okay, so let's test this, and then I think I take the W and go to bed. Short little hour stream. Oh, boy. Okay, this is really repetitive. I don't know what the deal is there. Undeclared identity for, oh, collision view type. Oh, no. Okay, this is fine. We get to simplify this too. Visibility code. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Dude, look at all this craptastic code. Like, what the shit? Okay. We need to get currently exists out of visibility code. That should not be happening here. Wait, do we even have static shadow maps? What? What? Okay, so maybe I don't take the W on this tonight because this is a little complex to deal with. Basically, for every one of these, I would make an inanimate specific one where I cut out a bunch of cases. And it'll be worth doing. It's just, all right, let me just start this. We're just going to go visibility. Maybe we'll just end up doing it. We could also have one for decals, for all I know. Anyway. So now everyone who calls this is going to need to pass two things. So I'm just going to... Wait, is this the first one? Yeah. I'm just going to do this one. And hope I don't mess it up. So we set it to visible equals false. Also, if that stuff's for editors, that should not go into final build, which would also speed it up. All right. Cascade stuff. If it's in an existence group, if it's not equal to inanimate, so that's just none of that's true. What? Oh, wait, this is the wrong function. All right. All right. I guess this is running. Okay. Anyway. Inanimates. Same. Okay. This currently exists is going to hopefully go away. All right. So light probe. So inanimates cannot be in the moving entities array. Not sure about that. All right. Look at all these visibilities. Visibility, shore map, inanimates. Visibility Baker inanimates. I don't like stuff that causes code explosions like this, but sometimes this is what you gotta do. And, you know, we're hoping to cut more cases out of here and stuff. All right. Probably some other files that call it. We use semicolons every day. Okay. Cull inanimates. Cull data. Okay, this just means someone is passing the extra argument that we deleted. Yeah. Cull inanimates. Viz, invisibility mask, entities, wrapping offsets, cull data, visibility code inanimates, do sky. Huh, that looks like the right arguments. T is pointer to Baker cull data. What? What? Oh, you know what? This was never firing. This code is probably just wrong because it's inside a static if, and like for some reason it was never firing, but now it is. But I don't know why it would be, because visibility code inanimates. Oh. All right. What function was this? Call for one view. Yep. Okay. This thing. Call data visibility Baker. Visibility Baker inanimates. All right. Any others? Water shore, light probe. All right. Shore map inanimates. Visibility. Visibility. All right. How bad did we... I'm not going to check this in tonight. Wait, did I take the W on the shadows? Uh-oh. I didn't take the W on the shadows. Okay. I mean, I still see things. It's pretty good. Got our shadows. Mr. Streamer, why is the frame rate only 15? Okay. I don't know. How well is this working? I mean, it seems to be working. So we're going to YOLO it. We're going to be very responsive to emails from the team tomorrow if anyone sees anything wrong. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to bed. And we'll see you later. Have a good night. Have a good time with AI writing all your code so you don't ever have to do anything. See ya.